Okay, if you've got this far, you are committing to a life-changing experience of an internship, hopefully through Mick Dad and his team in Career DC. Any way you do it, it's a very, very smart move. There are literally tens of thousands of graduates arriving in the workforce with absolutely no idea what to do next because they've come through 20 years of formal education where they were supplied information and they were reactive to that information, and their life was quite passive up until this point. And for many of those graduates, they're finding the job search overwhelming, intimidating, and a scary experience in general. You don't have to be one of those people. You can be ahead of the curve, you can be prepared, you can be professional and give a very strong impression of yourself if you show prospective employers that you've made efforts to get to know industry, to get to know their company, to get to know people in the sector where you want to work. And that's where an internship is priceless. If you really want to differentiate yourself, take a structured approach to the internship search. So today I'm going to talk about step 4 and step 5, which is starting your search and being organized. So what's all that about? Look, in my experience, I've worked in corporate banking and business development and in the public sector, and I'm probably not the most organized guy in the world. In fact, to this day, 20 years into my work experience, I still struggle with whether I should write down my to-do list, have a paper diary or an online diary, whether it should be Microsoft Outlook or Google Calendar or one of these fancy apps you can get for your phone. It doesn't really matter what tools you use for being organized once you're consistent and professional about the way you organize your day, your contacts, and your opportunities. So one of the suggestions that Mick Dad and his team make at Career DC is to have a spreadsheet, a simple spreadsheet. Imagine it's a project for university. The same way you'd organize information for a project, organize information for contacting and following up with strategic leads for employment opportunity. So you need names of strategic decision makers. I'm not talking about HR people here because they're the gatekeepers, although sometimes they can be helpful. Usually their job is to say no, 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 follow traditional lines of inquiry. And if you're like me and a little bit skeptical about how information can get lost in the online world, you know that the traditional line of inquiry sometimes isn't the best way to find a good job. And you need to be a little bit innovative, possibly a little bit cheeky, but certainly direct in order to contact the key strategic decision makers who often are not the people who you see in the advertisement. But a first place to start is research the person whose name is on the job advertisement. Better still, go direct to companies, small companies, SMEs, medium-sized companies, or large multinational organizations. Think of yourself like an FBI private agent who's investigating key personnel with that organization. Find them on LinkedIn, find them at events, conferences, various networking events. You need to be proactive. Populate your spreadsheet with the names, numbers, email addresses, events which happen, and developments of companies and the industry where those companies work. Once you populate that spreadsheet, believe it or not, your idea of the movers and shakers, the good guys and the bad guys. By the way, recruitment agents can help you populate that information as well if you're clever and ask questions in a very strategic way. And you could find yourself with a bank of knowledge which can offer you a very strong competitive advantage when it comes to securing an interview and performing well in that interview. So that's all part of being organized, and it starts with doing your research of the individuals and the companies and the industry you wish to work in. The next step is simply to be direct, organize your coffee meetups. Don't particularly go to Seek.com, Indeed, or one of these traditional job search websites. My advice is go direct and don't look for a job, look for information. Information is key. That means information about people and information about opportunities. When you ask for a coffee meeting, just say, look, I want to learn about the industry. I want to learn about your organization. Could you give me 15 minutes of your time? And believe it or not, even 5 minutes of your time, believe it or not, people will be prepared to do that. So step 4 and step 5 is start your search in a very methodical, professional, organized way, and then continue to measure and progress with a very systematic, professional way of recording your meetings and your information as you go along. Best of luck, guys, and I hope to follow up with the final stage, step 6, in your internship journey.